welcome back to English for You. I'm Erin.
And I'm Jiggling.
And we are talking about wildfires. Now, in the first day of today's article, we learned about how a fire starts and what happens to it after it kind of has those three things it needs: fuel, oxygen, and heat. Now, what experience do we have with fires? Obviously, we learned yesterday that maybe we don't know how to put one out, but there are other people who can, so we just need to get outside. But I have some experience with fire, and that's when I go camping. I like to start a fire, I like to cook marshmallows over it, cook my hot dogs over it, and eat some yummy food, and then the smoke makes my clothes smell like camping, and I love it. So that's a good experience with fire. Do you have any experience with fires?
The one that I can think of right now is to fire firecrackers.
Okay, that's fire too?
During Chinese New Year. I was always afraid of fire, but I still wanted to take part in that activity. So, I mean, the point of Chinese New Year for the kids is
to light firecrackers.
is to fire firecrackers.
Just have to be really careful with them because you don't want those firecrackers to start a fire. That can be dangerous. So make sure you go outside to do that. All right, well, we are going to talk about how to put a fire out and the people who do that. So let's talk about it today.
Reading.
Wildfires. Nature's deadly disasters. Once a fire starts, it will not stop until it loses one of the three parts of the fire triangle. To ensure this happens quickly, the U.S. employs two different highly trained groups of firefighters: hotshots and smoke jumpers. Hotshots travel around the edges of a fire, trying to predict where it will spread to next. They clear surrounding areas of fuel before the fire arrives, so that it won't have any fuel. Smoke jumpers, on the other hand, actually parachute in to fight the fires. Because wildfires can start anywhere, smoke jumpers need to be able to reach difficult places. Both hotshots and smoke jumpers do their jobs with help from the air. In addition to transporting firefighters to the fires, planes and helicopters fly overhead. They dump water or chemicals that put out parts of the fire or stop it from spreading. After a fire is out, firefighters can identify its source. Because they know how fires behave, it's possible to tell how a fire spread as it was growing. Finding the origins of these disasters is an important part of protecting people and the environment from fire in the future.
All right, let's start with the first line of our article, which says, once a fire starts, it will not stop until it loses one of the three parts of the fire triangle.
所以一旦一起火，它就会一直燃烧，一直燃烧，直到它失去我们昨天提到的 fire triangle 这个火三角其中一个元素。
Right, so you can take oxygen away, the fire won't keep going. You can take heat away, you can take fuel away, the fire will stop. It says here, to ensure this happens quickly, the U.S. employs two different highly trained groups of firefighters, hotshots and smoke jumpers.
Okay, so we have this word ensure， 它就是去确保、保证的意思。所以为了确保火赶快熄灭呢，美国当局他们就雇佣2队非常训练过的消防人马，那就是 hotshots， 我们可以翻成森林消防员，跟 smoke jumpers， 空降消防员。
Cool names, dangerous jobs. Now here, we also use the word employ. Now in this use, we're using the word employ the same way we would say use. So we could also say the U.S. uses two different highly trained groups of firefighters.
Okay, so employee, I think we talked about this word earlier. Yeah, to have somebody work for you or to do a job for you and you pay them for it. 就是去雇佣的意思嘛。那我们就可以说 We will employ someone that can speak German.
That's not me.
我们会雇佣一位可以说德文。
I don't speak German, so I can't have the job. All right. Okay, so let's find out more about hotshots. Let's find out what these people do. Hotshots travel around the edges of a fire, trying to predict where it will spread to next. Now, what they're doing is predicting. Now, this is a verb, and when you predict something, you kind of guess what will happen, or you study something to find out what will happen before it happens. Now, you're not always guessing when you do this. Guessing is part of it, but often when you predict something, you have a lot of reasons to say that this thing might happen, like previous experience, you've seen it happen before, or math that shows how something will happen. So that's what these firefighters would do. They would use a lot of math, they would use a lot of science and research to figure out which way the fire will go. As an example, we could say, the weatherman is predicting snow tomorrow, so we might get the day off school.
所以呢 predict 就是预测的意思 It's a verb、那我们就来造几个句子咯 The best way to predict the future is to create it yourself、预测未来最好的方式就是自己创造 And the noun form of this word is prediction、所以 hot shots 这些森林消防员呢在火灾发生处的边缘他们会去预测火接下来会延伸的方向就去了解火势的动向to find out where the fire will go.
That's right. Now, we saw that they travel around the edges of the fire, right?
Yeah.
Well, here it also says they clear surrounding areas of fuel before the fire arrives so that it won't have any fuel. Now, by surrounding here, this adjective describes something that is all around or near something. So what we're saying is that maybe the fire's in the middle, they're going to the areas around the fire to cut down all the trees to get rid of the fuel so that it can't spread any further. Here's an example sentence. The police searched the areas surrounding the scene of the crime in the hope of finding more clues.
OK， 所以这些森林消防员呢，要非常有默契哦。他们要在火到达之前就把那些易燃物全部都隔绝掉啊 ，cut down the trees 之类的。然后或者是it's kind of hard to get rid of the air. I mean, the oxygen, right? So we have to get rid of the trees. I think that's something that we have to do.
Right.
然后我们看到 surrounding 这个字，它就是周围的意思。那它都用在名词前面哦。那我们再造一个句子哦。A lot of the children at the school come from the surrounding countryside. 就学校很多的孩子都来自周边的乡村。So surrounding can also be used as a noun. It means the conditions or circumstances where someone is surrounded. 所以它就像是一个环境 environment. 那我们就可以说 You should pay more attention to your surroundings. 你应该留心于你的周遭环境。
Right, and when we use that as a noun, we always need to add the S.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's an important thing to remember. Okay, so let's talk about the grammar pattern that we saw in that sentence, so that.
好，那我们来看一下刚刚句子的一个 grammar pattern， 这边是属于从属连接词 so that， 所以 so that 接在主要子句之后呢，会有为了 blah 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 或以便于怎么样的意思，所以用来引导表目的的副词子句。那通常都会用 will, can, would 跟 could 这些助动词。好 so let's take a look at a few sentences here. Adeline studied hard so that she could pass the finals. Adeline 用功读书才能通过期末考。Or he will go to the concert hall earlier this Friday so that he can get a good seat. 他会在这个礼拜五早点到音乐厅，就会去有一个好位置可以坐。那另外再补充 so that, so blah 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 that 是另一种句型哦，有如此怎么样以至于怎么样的意思，所以不要搞混了哦。好，所以你就可以说啊 Andrew was so tired that he decided to take a nap on his desk.
Okay, so that is what hotshots do. They travel around the fire, the edges of the fire. They try to get rid of the fuel. Of course, they can't get rid of the oxygen, right? So they have to get rid of the fuel. They cut down trees. They put water on grass, that sort of thing. Now, let's talk about the other kind of firefighters. They are called smoke jumpers. It says here, smoke jumpers, on the other hand, actually parachute in to fight the fires. Interesting. All right, so let's talk about the phrase on the other hand first. Now, we use this phrase to introduce information that is different or opposite to what we've already said. So, for instance, we first gave information about hotshots. Now we're saying what smoke jumpers do, and their job is completely different from each other. Okay, so here's another example. Ben likes going out and meeting new people. His sister, on the other hand, is quite shy.
好哦，所以 on the other hand 就是有另一方面的意思。那通常前面提到的东西跟之后会是不同的东西，相反的，那就可以说啊。My dad likes classical music. I, on the other hand, like all kinds. 我爸爸喜欢古典音乐，但我喜欢各种音乐。那么空降消防员呢？他们就是直接跳伞救火 ，parachute 这边是跳伞的意思。
So they're putting these parachutes on their back. That's the noun form.
Yeah.
And they're jumping out of airplanes and opening the parachutes so they can go into the fire, which is very dangerous.
They're risking their lives to save somebody.
Exactly. Now, here in the article, it says, because wildfires can start anywhere, smoke jumpers need to be able to reach difficult places. And difficult places in the middle of a fire.
Yeah. 所以森林大火在哪里都可以发生，所以空降消防员要在任何困难地方都要有办法去。
Now, it does say here something that they have similar in common here. Both hotshots and smoke jumpers do their jobs with help from the air.
好哦，那我们来看一下上一句它的意思是什么呢？所以 both hotshots and smoke jumpers 这两种消防员，他们其实也是需要空中上面的飞机来帮他们完成任务，就是空中的支援，因为天上有很多机器嘛，把他们丢到那个火里面。
Okay, so hotshots and smoke jumpers need support from the air to do their job, right? We know smoke jumpers are in airplanes, but hotshots need the airplanes too. It says, in addition to transporting firefighters to the fires, planes and helicopters fly overhead. Now let's talk about the phrase in addition or in addition to here. We use this phrase to add more information to something we're talking about. It's another way of saying and, as well as, or also. Now, as an example, we could say, I'd like a hamburger and French fries. In addition to those, I'd like ice cream for dessert.
You're making me hungry. 好，我们看一下 in addition 这一个片语哦。那我们一般会说 in addition to，就是除此之外的意思。那就可以说啊。In addition to Spanish, she speaks Japanese fluently. 除了西班牙文之外呢，她日语也说得很流利。又或者是呢 in addition to being a famous physicist, he's a great physician. 他是一个很有名的物理学家，那么也是一位医生哦。那记得 in addition to doing something 后面要加 VING。
All right, so in addition to transporting people is what we saw in this sentence. Transport is a verb, and when you transport something or somebody to another place, you bring them to that place in a vehicle such as a plane, boat, truck, train, bus, or car. All right, like at this example here, this boat is transporting passengers to a small island in the middle of a lake.
好，所以 transport 就是运送、运输的意思。那在这边当动词哦。那么造一个句子哦。Trucks made it easy for goods to be transported. 卡车让货物易于运输。那 it can also be a noun. And when it's a noun, it means the movement of goods or people from one place to another. 好，那我们来造另外一个句子。Our city's transport problems are not serious at all when compared to big cities like New York. 好，那我们来看一下它的翻译，就是呢，我们城市的交通问题比起像纽约那种大城市，比较完全不严重。
One thing we should note about transport, when it's used as a noun, it's used as transport in the UK, and in the US, it's transportation. All right, now let's also talk about what helicopters are and what they're doing when they fly overhead.
好哦，那我们看一下 helicopter 这个字，它就是直升机。那 overhead， 你看 overhead， 你就看到一个 head， 那 over your head 就是 something that's above your head， 就是在你头上，usually in the sky， 都是在天空上面。那回到文章中，所以除了将消防员送到火灾区啊，直升机会在上面倒水啊，或者是化学药品来灭掉一些的火，然后就是以防万一这些火再继续烧。
Okay, so what do the helicopters and airplanes do when they fly overhead? It says here, they dump water or chemicals that put out parts of the fire or stop it from spreading. Now, here's what they're doing. They are dumping something. Dump is a verb, and when you dump something or dump something out, you pour it somewhere or put it down somewhere, often in a messy or careless way. Now, we can talk about dumping a big thing or a lot of something, like water in a big area, such as what the firefighters are doing here. But we should know they're pouring water onto large areas of land, but they're not doing it in a messy way. They have to think about this very carefully because they need to put it in the right place to stop the fire.
Yeah.
Here's another example. Can you dump this food into the garbage? I'm not going to eat it. All right, let's talk about dump.
好，那我们来看一下 dump 这个字，它就是倾倒的意思。It's a verb in our article. 那我们再造几个句子哦。That huge truck dumped the sand on the ground. 就是那个巨大的卡车把沙子都倒在地上的。So for informal use, dump can mean to suddenly end the relationship. So you can say, why don't you just dump your girlfriend if you keep complaining about her? 好，那 so dump can also be used as a noun too. Now, which means a place people are allowed to leave their garbage at or dump 就是有代表一个脏乱的地方，那种 pleasant place 也是 OK 的，当垃圾场都 OK。好 ，and 我们就可以说啊 ，If you can't stop playing that phone, it's heading to the dump. I'm telling you. 如果你再继续玩那个手机，我就把你的手机丢到垃圾场。
Okay, so when they dump the fire or dump the chemicals or the water on the fire, what they're trying to do is put out the fire. Now, we've used this phrase quite a few times already. So when you put out a fire, you just make the fire go out or stop burning. As an example, we could say, put out the fire completely before going to bed. We don't want it to burn all night.
So put out 就是扑灭啊，熄灭的意思。那 besides meaning to stop a fire, it also means to publish a book, magazine, and newspapers, or produce something for sale. 所以我们就是会有制造啊、出版的意思，也是 OK。它意思其实蛮多的哦。好，那我们再造几个句子哦。The organization will put out 3 new machines next month. 就是这个团体呢，下个月会生产3台机器。And when we say put somebody out, it means to cause problems for someone by making them do something for you. 就是造成别人不方便的意思。Now, let's take a look at the example sentence here. I could tell he wanted to stay over, but he said he didn't want to put us out. 我看得出来他蛮想留下来，但他不想要给我们麻烦。
All right, now we also saw the phrase stop something from doing something. We can also say it like this, prevent somebody from doing something or keep someone from doing something. Now, when you stop, prevent, or keep somebody or something from doing something, that's a mouthful, you make sure that they don't do that thing. For example, Adam stopped his dog from running out into the street by building a fence around his yard. So now the dog cannot run into the street.
So stop, prevent 或 keep something or somebody from doing something 就是有停止啊、预防某人不要再做某事的意思哦。所以我们可以说 Her poor eyesight prevents her from driving. That's me. 她极差的视力让她无法开车。
Oh, well, it's a good thing Taipei has such a convenient transportation system. All right, so the firefighters are trying to put this fire out. It says here, after a fire is out, firefighters can identify its source.
So to identify something is to recognize a problem or a fact. 就是去识别啊、鉴定。所以火扑灭之后呢，消防员就要去鉴别它的来源、来处。
And it also says, because they know how fires behave, it's possible to tell how a fire spread as it was growing. All right, so that's what we talked about here. They have a lot of science behind it. They know a lot of things about fire, including how they behave. Now here, this verb means that when something acts in a certain way, or that's how something usually acts, or these are the things that something usually does. So for instance, a fire usually does the same things every time. So when the firefighters learn what these things are, they know how the fire will act next time and use this information to put it out. Here's another example. This scientist studies the way sharks behave so they can learn how to protect them.
Okay, so behave 就是表现的意思。It's a verb here. It's a verb. And we often hear mothers saying this, behave yourself. 哎，你乖一点哦，守规矩一点。又或者是呢 It is believed that animals behave differently before a natural disaster. 人们相信动物在自然灾害发生以前表现都会不太一样。那我们也可以用 well behaved 来形容一个人的行为很端正。那它的名词是 behavior.
All right, so smart people, these firefighters. It says, finding the origins of these disasters is an important part of protecting people and the environment from fire in the future. Now, of course, when they're looking for the start of the fire, they're looking for the origin. Now, origin, the noun, is the place and or time that something begins to exist or happen for the first time. So, do you know the origin of this story? It started in the Middle Ages in Europe.
所以 origin 就是来源、起源的意思哦。It's a noun. And we will make a sentence from this word. There are many theories about the origin of life. 关于生命起源有很多的理论。And the verb form is originate. It means to come from a particular place, time, or situation as well. 或者是去让某一件事情发生，去引起的意思哦。那我们就可以说啊，Jazz originated in the U.S. and is now popular throughout the world. 爵士乐起源在美国，但现在全世界都很受欢迎。
All right, so now you guys know all about fires, how they start, how to put them out. We are going to finish off today with our For You chat, so don't go away yet.
For You chat.
Okay, welcome back to For You chat. Our question today, would you be willing to become a smoke jumper or a hotshot? How do these jobs sound to you?
Oh, it sounds dangerous to
Yes.
me, but I would like to be a smoke jumper if I had the ability. But no, I'm not gonna do it because I think I will turn out to be the person that I need to rescue.
You know what? After our experience talking about fires in the last article, I agree with you. I have an uncle who is a smoke jumper. It's a very dangerous job.
Yeah.
I don't think it sounds right for me.
Yeah.
I think I will help the people who are doing this job.
Yeah.
That's what I will do for these
I like
people.
that answer.
All right, well, what about you guys? Are you guys interested in dangerous jobs like this? Talk about it together, but we are going to say goodbye. So for English for You, I'm Erin.
I'm Chickling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wildfires, nature's deadly disasters. Once a fire starts, it will not stop until it loses one of the three parts of the fire triangle. To ensure this happens quickly, the U.S. employs two different highly trained groups of firefighters, hotshots and smoke jumpers. Hotshots travel around the edges of a fire, trying to predict where it will spread to next. They clear surrounding areas of fuel before the fire arrives, so that it won't have any fuel. Smoke jumpers, on the other hand, actually parachute in to fight the fires. Because wildfires can start anywhere, smoke jumpers need to be able to reach difficult places. Both hotshots and smoke jumpers do their jobs with help from the air. In addition to transporting firefighters to the fires, planes and helicopters fly overhead. They dump water or chemicals that put out parts of the fire or stop it from spreading. After a fire is out, firefighters can identify its source. Because they know how fires behave, it's possible to tell how a fire spread as it was growing. Finding the origins of these disasters is an important part of protecting people and the environment from fire in the future.
Vocabulary Review.
Predict. Vince is predicting that the Los Angeles Lakers will win this basketball game. What do you think? Surrounding. Bailey wants to climb each one of Taipei's surrounding mountains. Transport. This time machine can transport you far into the future or back into the past. Dump. Niall dumped the water from the pot into the sink so he could start washing it. Behave. Madeline is studying the way owls behave when they're searching for food. Origin. The origin of playing cards can be traced back hundreds of years to China.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net